So today I'm going to make some refrigerator pickles, and I want to stress that these are not the same thing as canning. Uh, this is just going to be put in the refrigerator, and you do not want to put them on the shelf and keep them there anywhere. They need to be kept in the refrigerator at all times, except of course when you're eating them. And to do this, I'm going to start with about 3 or 4 average cucumbers. You can buy the smaller ones that are specifically grown for canning or pickling. They're more expensive usually, so I'm just going to use regular sized cucumbers and slice them. And to start with, we've got 4 cups of water that is coming up almost to a simmer. A few more seconds probably. And if you have really great tap water, you'd probably go ahead and use tap water. If not, you might want to use filtered water or possibly even some bottled water, but it's up to you, whatever you think will work best for you. So with the 4 cups of water, I'm also going to use some vinegar. I use 2 cups of vinegar and a variety of spices. And you can customize it to make pickles the way you like them. And it's cheaper than buying stuff at the store generally. Plus, like I say, you can customize it to make them taste however you want and make them your own special way. And that's a good part of the fun too. Plus, you know all the ingredients that are in there, so you don't have to wonder whether you're eating a science experiment or not. Well, once the water comes up to a simmer, I'm going to add 4 cloves of garlic to the water and let it come up to a boil for about 5 minutes. Of course, you can add more garlic if you like a really garlicky pickle. If you just hate garlic, just leave it out. Just forget the garlic. Don't even use it. Just make it your own, whatever you like best. So while that's cooking, while the water's getting hot and getting ready to boil and the garlic's in there, I'm going to slice these cucumbers up. It's usually a good idea to slice them pretty thin. If you slice them real thick, they may not get pickled all the way through, but again, it's personal preference. If you prefer it that way, that's great. If you have a mandolin or any other kind of slicer, that's a good way to go too. You will probably want to rinse these off really well and scrub them up a little bit, and then use a paper towel to dry them off, just to make sure you remove any possible residue that might be on the surface of the cucumbers. But just go ahead and keep slicing them up really thin. I finished slicing all 3 of those cucumbers. And by the way, if you want, you can pickle other vegetables as well. You can put in some carrot slices. You can use cauliflower, broccoli. Onions work really well. Slice onions really thin. You can do green beans, yellow beans, peas. You can pretty much do quite a few different vegetables. So give it a try, whatever you like. Different things, different tastes there. Once the garlic has been simmering for about 5 minutes or so, I'm going to go ahead and add 2 cups of the vinegar to this. Originally, this recipe called for about 6 tablespoons of salt. You can use pickling salt, or you can use a kosher salt like this. Do not use regular table salt that's been iodized. You might have problems with that. It may not turn out very good. But the original recipe called for 6 tablespoons of salt. And a number of people said that's just too much. So you may need to experiment a little bit till you find the right level of salt that you prefer best. I'm going to go with about 3 tablespoons. And you, like I said, you would prefer more. And just bring this to a boil until all the salt is completely dissolved. While that's coming to a boil, you can get the jars ready that you're going to use. I'm just going to reuse a couple of glass jars and have the lids for them and everything. Just make sure you wash them out really well if you're going to be using them. Make sure they're really clean. And to this, I'm going to add a half a teaspoon to each jar. Some black peppercorns. If you can get some fresh dill, that's great. Put a couple, 2 or 3 sprigs of fresh dill in there. If not, you can use some dried dill. And then this is celery seed. Again, a half a teaspoon. In each jar. And some mustard seed. Once again, when you're making these yourself, you can customize them to however you like best. If you love the mustard flavor, add more mustard. If you just hate dill, leave the dill out. It's okay. Make them the way you like them. Make them your own. And lastly, I'm going to add just a little bit of turmeric to each of these. Not a lot. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to add a little splash here. Should be good. And I almost forgot, a half a teaspoon of coriander. Once the water and vinegar salt mixture is boiled and everything is dissolved in there, take it off the heat and go ahead and start adding the cucumbers. You want to pack them in there reasonably well. You probably want to use a little tray of some type like this in case you spill. You could pour the water in, but I think it's going to be easier and less messy to use the ladle like this. Don't forget to add the garlic. And that's all there is to it. Let these cool down. Make sure they're got everything covered real well, but let these cool down for a good 2 hours or so, and then put the lid on them and put them in the refrigerator. And when you do, over the next few hours or day or two, pick them up and shake it a little bit and turn it over a couple times if you want to, and put it back in the fridge. That way you make sure that everything's got a real good even exposure to the brine mixture and all the spices and seasonings there. You could eat these in a couple, 3 hours. And they'll have a little bit of flavor to them. But they're going to be better after at least 24 hours and definitely they'll come into their best flavor after about 3 days or so, maybe, depending on your own personal taste. But they will last in your refrigerator for 4 to 6 weeks. Some people have said they'll keep them in there for 2 to 3 months. They usually disappear before that. But 4 to 6 weeks is a good time to keep them in the fridge. And it's pretty cheap to make. They're easy to do. They're fun to do. And you made them yourself. Stick around. I've got to wait about 4 more days. But for you, it's only going to be a couple seconds, and I'll show you the final product. Well, it's been 4 days. And these are ready. You can see how they look there. Always be sure to shake them up every once in a while. Get all those seasonings distributed all the way through the pickles. And let's just see here what they're looking like. But they're super easy to make. And you can make them your own particular style, any way you want. The flavor profile is basically up to you, what you think you would like best. This is kind of a classic dill flavor that I made here. But you can slice up a couple of jalapenos and put them in right at the beginning. If you want them hotter, you can use some habaneros or Scotch bonnet, whatever you like. Serrano chilies, anything you like. You can make your pickles to suit your own personal taste. If you like I said earlier, if you like garlic pickles, add lots of garlic. If you don't like dill, leave the dill out. Just make them the way you think you'd like them. Give it a try. It's super easy and super tasty. You can make them as strong or as mild as you like. So see you next time on Cook and Gobble videos.